So, I've decided to do a very different type of video today. As some of you might know, along with making videos, my other hobby is creating artwork of my favourite wrestlers. Now granted, none of these illustrations are mine, but that's besides the point. I've done a video like this in the past, but it was before I hit puberty, so I never want to watch it again. It's also very unprofessional, and as I'm now a much better artist than I ever was before, I feel like now is a much better time to make a tutorial to help all of you draw your favourite wrestlers. So, that's what we're going to do in this video. The first wrestler we're going to draw is quite a popular one actually. It's King Corbin. So the first thing you want to do is draw the head. Now this is very important. A lot of people panic at this stage. It is the first stage, but it is the most important one. Heads are obviously circles. That's the key here. You draw a circle. Some people panic and they draw a square. Some cases a rectangle. Some cases even a triangle, and it just messes up the entire drawing right from the start. So you don't want to do that. A circle is all well and good. Next, you want to draw the eyes. The eyes are, of course, also a circle. Sometimes there's a bit of doubt there as well, but a circle just about gets the job done. After the eyes, it gets a bit more difficult. You have to draw the mouth. The mouth isn't really an exact... It's like kind of like a semicircle, but not 100% a semicircle, so you kind of want to... Just something like that for the first line, and the second one when you cross over, like kind of like the top lip. You should get something like that. And then for the nose, positioning is key. You go for the kind of the middle of the circle, and you do something like that. And then that's it essentially finished. You've got King Corbin ready to go. It is good sometimes to put the name beside it. And then once you put the name beside it, you're pretty much able to send it to him on Twitter. Then it's perfect. It's ready to go. And a lot of people will respect your ability. You should be able to get a lot of likes and retweets with this. So that's the first drawing completed. It's not easy. It is difficult. Sometimes you might need to take several attempts. Don't be afraid to take your time. Take a couple of days, a couple of weeks if you need to, just to sort of master it before you send it off on Twitter. The next wrestler we're going to be drawing is Billie Kay. So again, it's the same step as last time. You basically just start with the head, a nice round circular oh good fuck. So same as last time, you start with the head. It is very important to be able to draw Billie Kay, I believe, as a life skill, because as popular as Baron Corbin is, he's not exactly one of the best, whereas Billie Kay, being the elite level she is, being one of the best wrestlers in the world, you have to be able to sort of draw the best wrestlers in the world if the occasion calls for it. So that's why it's important to get the head right. It's important to get the eyes right as well. Then the mouth, same as last time. No clear defined shape, but you know what the mouth looks like. You just sort of have to go for it. But the real challenge here when it comes to drawing Billie Kay is the fact that she has long hair. Hair can be quite a task to draw. Basically, if you don't know how it works, you just color it in. You just color it in, you know, because hair, again, unlike the head, unlike the eyes, there's no defined shape. It's just kind of, it just is what it is. So you just need to move your finger kind of around the mouse as you're drawing this, and as you can see, it's coming out quite nicely. It's almost like a photograph in many ways. And there you go. If you were to see a picture of Billie Kay and a drawing of Billie Kay, more often than not, if you can't tell the difference between the two, that's the sign that you've drawn a really, really good picture. As always, you want to put the name next to it. Not that people wouldn't be able to tell who it is otherwise, but it's kind of a nice little signature to put next to it, a good final touch. You never know, you might actually get some commissions out of it, and people trying to request more artwork off you. So that's obviously another really cool benefit of being able to draw someone like Billie Kay. If you've made it this far and you're still in the drawing process, you're still following the tutorial, and you haven't been sort of getting lost in the process, which does happen, there's no shame in that. Then it's time to draw Seth Rollins. That's going to be our next step. So it's virtually the same process every time, because you're just drawing humans. So it's not actually, it's not too difficult. It's the same kind of, the same base, if you know what I'm saying. The same sort of first couple of layers, the head, the eyes. We're actually going to go nose before the mouth this time, because we're feeling a bit fruity. Gonna switch it up just a little bit. So here's Seth Rollins. Again, as we learned from drawing Billie Kay, you go with the hair next. Now that looks like Seth Rollins, but of course there's something missing. The beard. So the beard is the next level, the next sort of challenge. And while it may seem daunting at first, all you have to realize is that the beard is just hair, but for the face. So it's the same process. You just color in. And in the end, that's a piece of artwork that you can be quite happy with. Next, we are going to draw Cesaro. However, there's going to be a slight difference between this and the other drawings, because instead of just doing the head, we're going to try draw sort of the whole body, the whole character. So, as always, we start with the head, but this time we just make it smaller. It's the same shape, it's still a perfect circle. And then the eyes, of course, same as always. The nose, and then the mouth. So it looks slightly different than normal, because again, it's just the dimensions. It's smaller than what it normally is. That doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's different. Then you do the neck, which is of course a straight line, like all necks. Then you do the shoulders here. Make sure they arch, because shoulders do kind of make a sort of kind of like a shape like that. Then the abdomen. Again, make sure he looks very muscly. That's the important part. Cause Cesaro's a very muscly man. And then you do the arms and the legs. Some people might criticize and they say, "Oh, this actually just looks like toast with a head sticking out of it." Those people I would say are just jealous. They're not capable of achieving what you're able to achieve, so they try and take you down because they can't build themselves up. It's nothing to do with your inability to draw. It doesn't look like toast with head and arms sticking out of it. It looks a little bit like toast. So for our next piece, we're going to be drawing a team rather than one individual wrestler. So for the example, we're going to go with the New Day, a very well-known trio that many people want to draw. We're not going to bother with the bodies, we're just going to go with the heads. But what's interesting about this is when you draw when you're drawing multiple wrestlers on the same page, particularly a team instead of one individual, I like to use a trick called the Venn diagram trick. So obviously, you've got multiple wrestlers on the same page, taking up the same space because they're standing next to each other. They might be slightly behind another one or something like that. So this is where the Venn diagram comes in handy. So instead of one circle, you're drawing three for the three heads, and then you draw the eyes. So you draw there we go. So Big E, we'll say, is in the middle, and then those are Xavier Woods' eyes. That's Big E's. That's Kofi. That's Big E. No, is that Kofi? There was one lad who said, "Hey, Keane, I really, really want you to teach me how to draw Vladimir Kozlov." And he got very emotional over it. He almost started crying. He was like, "His match with Mark Henry on SmackDown changed my life. It was the best 75 seconds I've ever experienced. And I really, really would like to be able to draw him. He hasn't wrestled now for a decade. Maybe if I can draw him, he can come back and wrestle sometime soon." And then he started crying and trying to eat my kneecap. So for him, I've decided that the next person we should try and draw is Vladimir Kozlov. Now, I know I always say it, but the first thing you want to do, of course, is start with the head. The goal of drawing a legendary wrestler who has since left the WWE is to try and, motivate them to get back in that ring and entertain the fans again. And hopefully when you draw Vladimir Kozlov, he sees how much the fans miss him, he sees how much you want him back, and the light just switches on. He's like, I'm getting back into the ring now after seeing that drawing. That's the end goal, of course. So this next one's going to be a bit of a challenge, but it is WrestleMania season, and I know a lot of people are going to want to draw their own WrestleMania posters. So we're just going to take the current WrestleMania poster, and I'm basically going to show you how to draw that, and you can maybe modify it how you wish. Dad, did I ask for your opinion? Did I ask for your opinion? No, I didn't. What? It's not called WrestleMania Snickers. It's the sponsor. I accidentally made it too big. Oh my god. What do you mean, who's that? It's Charlotte Flair. She's a former champion. Who's that? I don't know who that is, right? I think it's a rapper or something, but it's not finished. It's not finished! Okay, so we're going to go back to doing individual wrestlers. Next, we're going to draw Eva Marie. Alright, so the difference between Eva Marie and a lot of other wrestlers is that she refers to herself as all red everything, because she is all red everything, which was always a really cool thing and a really big reason why I was a fan of Eva Marie. So again, like always, you start with the circle for the head, and then of course the hair as well is a very integral part of her image. Well, actually, if she's all red everything, then I suppose you kind of have to just cut her everything in. Which again was a really cool part of her character at the time, I thought. And now that's yet another wrestler you have added onto the list of wrestlers that you can draw. So this time we're going to go back to the mid-2000s, around 2005, that era. We're going to go with Danny Basham, another highly requested one. I personally think that it's a really nice touch to draw tag team, like wrestlers who are known for their tag team work as singles wrestlers on their own canvas. I just think it's nice to give credit where it's due. So with this, of course, we're talking about a tag team legend, but not somebody who perhaps gets the credit that's deserved for their singles career. So it's always a nice thing to do, in my opinion. And yeah, that... Oh, fuck. I've accidentally drawn Doug Basham. That is so embarrassing, lads. I know you're obviously all probably screaming at your screens telling me here, Keen, you've accidentally drawn Doug. Apologies for that, sorry. The next one is actually going to be slightly different though. We're not going to be drawing an individual wrestler, but rather the cover of a game. I've seen a couple of people do this. They like to do covers, what they want the cover to be and things like that. So the key to this is positioning. You need to make sure that the main character, the person you want to focus this game around, is positioned dead center of the cover. You know, that's just how these things work. And just like that, you've got potentially your next game cover for 2022. I obviously get requests from people who want me to draw their favourite wrestlers or whatever, and the other day, one lad sent me a message saying he wants to know how to draw Tyler Rust after he's just heard a really funny joke from someone he hated and it made him laugh, and he doesn't mind smiling a little bit just to acknowledge that the joke was funny, but the fact that he hates the person who told it soured it enough on him to prevent him from outright laughing. So obviously this is one of those drawings where emotions are trying to be conveyed, and those drawings are the most complex, the most detailed, but also the most worthwhile in the end, because you're telling a story through the medium of drawing, and there's a lot to be said for that. This is important. Obviously you see it in the eyes first and foremost. The mouth is the important part, because this is where, you know, you see like he's smiling a little bit, but not too much. I think I may have been a bit generous there. I've kind of leaned more into the laugh, but you can see he's not crying laughing, he's not dying laughing, he's just sort of like, this is an adequate joke, you know what I mean? Maybe if you give him some eyebrows, make him a little bit kind of like, there you go, like he's angry but he's like, ha, you know what I mean? That was kind of funny. The final one obviously is a highly requested one. Now that she's going after Asuka at WrestleMania, a lot of people want to know how to draw Rhea Ripley, so that's a good way to end this video. So again, you want to learn it off like we've done so far, like a mantra, you know? Circle for the head, that's the key. Then the eyes, of course. Then the mouth. There isn't really a huge amount of room left here for the nose. You could argue there is no, you know, some drawings, if you leave out the nose, it can still kind of look all right. So don't be afraid to, you know, experiment with that sort of thing. Then obviously she's got blonde hair, so you draw the blonde sort of slowly, carefully. I'm going to zoom in on this just so you can see the slow, careful kind of just the top of the head there, and perfect. So now that you know how to draw Rhea Ripley and a number of other wrestlers from watching this video, draw whoever you think you're capable of drawing, and all the best. Good luck. What the fuck is that?